A couple of days ago, a video came out from Russia showing a mysterious armored vehicle leaving a factory complex, and it is definitely something we have never seen before. The vehicle was spotted leaving the complex of the UralVagonZavod, Russian tank manufacturer, in Nizhny Tagil. There is only this short video of the vehicle, but despite that, there is a lot we can conclude from it. First, based on the wheels, it appears that the vehicle is made on either a T-80 or a T-72 chassis, but judging by how the wheels look, I'd say it is more likely to be a T-72 or a T-90 chassis, but the quality is not good enough to be certain. This would imply that the vehicle is heavy, which probably means it is well armored, since there would be no other reason to use a chassis made to carry over 40 tons of weight. This could also mean that Russia is looking for a cheaper, new vehicle where they could use already existing hulls of tanks and the production facilities and tools used to make new tanks to use in making this vehicle. As for the type of the vehicle this is, it appears to be some sort of a heavy infantry fighting vehicle, similar to the T-15, but could also very well be some specialized vehicle like a command vehicle or something similar. We will get to that in a bit. The most interesting is probably the engine placement and maybe the engine itself. It is pretty obvious that the engine is in the front. We have the exhaust on the front and the sprocket wheel is on the front rather than the back, as is the case on tanks like the T-72. This is one of the reasons why this being an infantry fighting vehicle is most likely the case. Infantry fighting vehicles, most of the time, have engines in the front to allow for the troop placement in the back, hence why it is most likely the case here as well. Now, the sound of the engine and the way the exhaust looks has led some people to believe that it is possible that this vehicle uses the engine of the T-14 Armata. You know, the controversial X-layout engine everyone was talking about last year. And if we actually do compare the sounds of T-14 Armata's engine and the sound of the engine this vehicle makes, yeah, I would say they sound very similar. Have a listen. Here is also a T-72 for comparison, just so you don't think all Russian tanks sound alike for whatever reason. If this new vehicle really does use the engine of the T-14, that would mean that Russia is probably trying to push this engine into active service now more than ever. And the rumors from last year about all the problems with the engine being ironed out and it being ready for mass production might turn out to be true. That being said, I have to emphasize, it has not been confirmed that this vehicle uses Armata's X-layout engine. It is just a possibility. We don't even know exactly what this vehicle is. Although, as I said earlier, we might guess what it is. There are some things that point to this being an infantry fighting vehicle. The engine on the front is one of the things I have already mentioned, but the enlarged rear part of the vehicle could be an indication that it is meant for the troops to sit in the back, and it is very likely the case. Now, one thing that might point to this not being an infantry fighting vehicle is the obvious lack of any armament on the vehicle. It is very likely that it is just a test hull, that the turret with the vehicle's armament is not ready yet, or they first want to test the hull, which has been done since forever. Although there are some things on top of the hull that look like some mounts or god knows what. This led some people to believe that this is meant to be some sort of a specialized vehicle, but I honestly have no idea what they could be used for. There appear to be 2 rows of periscopes on the front, indicating that there are at least 2 crew members sitting in the hull, but it could very well be 3. It is just very hard to see from the perspective the video has been taken from. The vehicle heavily resembles some of the late 90s and early 2000s Russian projects for heavy infantry fighting vehicles, and this could very well be the revival of that based on the lessons learned from Ukraine, since a lot of their infantry fighting vehicles have proven to have inadequate protection, which led to them having to be up-armored, like we have seen with the BMP-3s. Overall, this vehicle appears to be pretty interesting, but who knows, this might be the only time we will ever see it. Like many Russian projects, it can easily just get abandoned and forgotten about. But it is also possible we will see it again, and who knows, it might get presented on some exhibition in the following months, and we get to learn more about it. That would be all. If you like my content, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.